Hello, I'm Cor.
And I'm Leah.
We are here from Colby Fish Enterprises.
There you go.
I'm new to this, can you tell? A little bit about us before we start this whole journey that we hope you will follow us on and join us and progress with us through this whole thing. Yeah, my public speaking is not as good as my wife's. However, I try. I used to be a teacher. Started off with languages, sports sciences, and then I went on to sciences teaching and some arts and crafts and arts and culture actually. From there on, I've realized that it's not for me. I am not the teacher. So I went on to becoming a boilermaker, maintenance boilermaker, currently full-time employed as a boilermaker, which is also fun. However, homesteading, we will get to that.
Yes, and I have been in the real estate industry for about the last 5 to 6 years. And unfortunately in South Africa, the economy is dipping every now and again, politics and all that nonsense that we're not going to get into now. But yeah, the real estate industry did take a bit of a knock in the last 2 years. I am full-time employed. I just moved from one branch to another within the same company. Luckily it's an international company, so we do have a lot of backing from head office and so on. But our big problem at this stage is that
Traffic.
we have 9 to 5 jobs. It's rush hour traffic, rushing from Monday to Friday. Weekends you struggle to get stuff done, you struggle to relax and to calm down. And even though we are on a small holding, basically it's about 12 hectares.
Just under the specifications for a farm. Just, it looks like a farm, but it's a plot.
No, in South Africa we call it a plot. Here we don't have a lot of noise pollution, you don't hear the traffic going by, but the lifestyle that we are at this point, chasing money, making other people money, making other people rich while we're struggling to get through every month, it's just not for us.
Sorry, we are in Pretoria, South Africa. When we say 9 to 5 jobs, it's the terminology we use. Actually, we both start at 7:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. That's rush time, rush hour traffic every time we go and come back home. For me, it's easier on the motorcycle. She's in the car. Big traffic for me on the bike as well. Long distance to travel, early wake up, late to bed. Not a lot of time when we get home, like you said. It's a rush, and we need to break free of that, get away from it all. And where it all started was.
Well, I've always had a bit of a green fingers, and when we moved here, it was about last year June.
Yeah.
In the middle of the winter, we had a look around, see where the property is, what kind of soil we have, things like that. And I really wanted to start doing a bit of farming and get plants up and grow our own potatoes and tomatoes and cucumbers and chilies and things like that. But the problem that we had with that is any type of root vegetable won't grow here properly because the ground is so dense that nothing works.
Very clayish ground.
Yes. And after about 4 months of struggling with that, where the vegetables wouldn't grow properly, I was very down in the dumps because it was only my first try, but it felt like a failure. And then I started doing some research on alternatives to the traditional soil farming and came down to aquaponics, and I started doing some research on that. And we have borehole water here, we're right next to the river, so water is not a problem for us here. And did quite a bit of research on the aquaponics. I decided that this is something that could actually work for me.
Not for me, because I had to build it.
And then I started doing research on the fish that goes into the aquaponic system. And I came across a fish that's actually very big in the US, and Europe and the Middle East and so forth. The fish is called the tilapia. And realized that it's actually a fish that's quite common here in the rivers all around the country, but the aquaculture system in South Africa is so poorly utilized that there's not a lot of farms actually growing these fish commercially. And did some research on all the different types of strains of tilapia, and the Nile tilapia and the Mozambique tilapia, and then the Rindalis as well. Rindalis as well, and also the red tilapia, which is basically just a fancy name for a hybrid. And then pitched the idea to my husband, and he said, well, the aquaponics sounds good, but this fish is sounding very interesting. And I said, yeah, well, you could actually make a business out of that, and that was the catch.
That made me decide to put my back into it, dig a few holes. Well, I'm getting there with help. Dig a few holes, make them big enough to house a lot of fish, to start stocking up properly, and to make sure we have enough so that when we get to the point that we can self-sustain, we don't have any problems with stock. The whole self-sustainability thing caught my eye, got me interested. Another long story, however, short version. My wife came home with this whole canning idea that I do not like. It's something I don't understand, and I don't care for it. I am a fresh food eater. My meat needs to be fresh. Sadly, I'm a snob. And yes, so we started watching these canning videos, and the one she loved most was Gilbrook Farms. We'll put a link in the description below, or she'll put the link somewhere there. And hello Jamie and Jeremy. Sorry, I keep forgetting your name. Anyway, so we started watching this, and when
became completely addicted to their channel. They are so awesome.
Brilliant. And funny.
They do
funny.
Everything on homesteading, from chicken rearing to canning to building stuff. They're just so funny and so interesting. We're completely obsessed with them.
Yes, not in a weird way though. So after watching a few of those videos, I started getting more and more into the whole idea of working from home for yourself, sustaining yourself, building what you need. Because I work with my hands. I'm a builder. Maintaining and building steel structures and repairing and building the house and all these things will be my main job in the near future, and I'm good with it and I love it. It's my thing, and I get to buy more tools, which I love. So yeah, that's our influences. One thing that I wanted to point out is that we saw on the Gilbrook Farms channel the whole how to make a good video. I did see that. With the whole mic thing, I don't have that yet. The light thing, I've got the phone's light and I've got a big military flashlight and the house lights and everything. So we'll get to that.
We will improve, we promise.
It'll get better. Watch this space. This will decrease, hopefully, with the whole fish farming and working. I made a list. The Gilbrook Farms, and then the aquaponics, that's the one. Mm-hmm. And then there's the gap in the local market to consider as well, and that we have. So that's our little story.
Where we are now, we just got the first aquarium set up. We got our first 100 fish yesterday. So the babies are there. Now they're about a month old. They're called fingerlings. So we have to wait for these little guys to grow up so that they
reach
can
maturity.
So that they can start breeding the babies. That we will not be eating these. They need to grow up.
They have names.
This is the breeding stock. They have names. So we'll be waiting for them to grow up and to start breeding, and then the babies that they produce for us will eventually become our selling stock.
Yeah, they will go forth and multiply.
Yes.
So yeah, that's our story for now. We'll show you the property sometime and the close-up of the fish and the other fish tank, swimming pool, with a homemade pump that I'll walk you through sometime. The dogs are asleep, so we'll keep it that way. And thank you for watching. I know we can improve, so anything you want to add on and tell us about,
leave a comment down below.
Comment down below, and if you like and subscribe, we will like you too. So yeah, that's my little bit of corny for the day. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great one.